Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to the channel. If you're a Monsties and you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, now's the time because this video is about to walk you through one of the strangest weeks BABYMONSTER has had all year. A massive global win happening at the exact same time as something genuinely bizarre going on with their official TikTok account. And by the end of this, you're going to understand why so many fans are asking the same question. How can a group be blowing up everywhere except on one platform? Let's start with the good news, because it really is good news. On July 6th, at midnight KST, BABYMONSTER dropped the music video for I Like It, the third video pulled from their mini-album Ahyeon, following Chum and Sugar Honey Iced Tea, both of which already crossed 100 million views. I Like It is the summery, breezy one. The yacht, the sunshine, the country-style guitar riff, the kind of track that feels like it was built specifically for a July release. And it's working. According to trending data circulating shortly after release, I Like It landed at the #1 spot on music video trending charts across a huge chunk of the globe, reportedly showing up as the top trending music video in around 50 countries, with strong placements in Southeast Asia specifically, sitting in the top 10 in places like Thailand and the Philippines. For a B-side track, not even the title single, that's an enormous result. It says something about where BABYMONSTER is right now as a group. They're at the point where their side tracks perform like title tracks used to. And that momentum doesn't come out of nowhere. Remember, this video dropped just days after BABYMONSTER wrapped an incredible 3-night run at Jamsil Indoor Stadium in Seoul. All 3 shows completely sold out, kicking off their second world tour, Ahyeon, which is set to be massive. 29 shows, 18 cities, 5 continents, including their first ever stops in Oceania, Europe, and South America. I Like It was actually performed live for the first time during those Seoul shows before the MV even existed, so by the time the video dropped, fans were already primed for it. Add to that the fact that Psycho, a track from a completely different era, just crossed 200 million views on YouTube, the group's 8th video to hit that milestone, and you start to see the picture. BABYMONSTER isn't just doing well with new content. Their entire back catalog is compounding. Every era is feeding the next one. So on paper, this should be a straightforward victory lap video. New MV, charting at #1 worldwide, tour selling out, older tracks still climbing. This is the kind of week a group's PR team dreams about. But here's where it gets weird. Because at the exact same time all of this was happening, the trending charts lighting up, the streaming numbers climbing, something completely different was unfolding on BABYMONSTER's official TikTok account. And this is the part of the story that's been quietly spreading through the fandom over the past couple of days. So, if you've been wondering why your For You page suddenly feels a little emptier when it comes to BABYMONSTER content, stick around, because we're about to get into it. Multiple fans have been noting, in comment sections across BABYMONSTER-related TikTok posts, that the group's official account appears to be experiencing a serious drop in visibility, the kind of drop that, in creator terms, usually points to something called a shadow ban. For anyone who isn't familiar, a shadow ban is when a platform quietly restricts how far your content spreads without ever telling you it's happening. Your account still exists, you can still post, but your videos stop reaching new people. They don't show up on the For You page the way they used to, engagement drops off a cliff, and unless you're specifically checking the numbers, you might not even realize it's happening until someone points it out. And that's exactly what fans say is happening here. According to comments circulating under the official account's recent posts, some fans believe the account was hit with a wave of reports, potentially coordinated reports from accounts unfriendly to the group, which then triggered TikTok's automated moderation systems into restricting the account's reach. Now, I want to be really clear about something here because accuracy matters more than anything else on this channel. This is fan speculation. It is not something TikTok has confirmed. It is not something YG Entertainment has issued any statement on, and shadow bans in general are notoriously difficult to prove, even for the creators experiencing them, because platforms almost never explain their own moderation decisions. What we do know is that fans have been actively encouraging each other to engage more with the account, to comment, to share posts through direct links rather than relying on the algorithm to surface them, which is the kind of behavior you typically see communities adopt when they genuinely believe visibility has been throttled, whether or not that belief turns out to be accurate. So, here's the real question worth sitting with for a second. How do you have a music video hitting #1 in 50 countries, an artist whose older catalog just crossed another 200 million milestone, a sold-out world tour already underway, and at the same time, have your own fans quietly worried that your official TikTok has gone dark? It's a strange contrast, and if it turns out to be true, it says something uncomfortable about how much power algorithmic moderation has over even a group performing at this level. A #1 trend on YouTube doesn't automatically protect you on a completely different platform with completely different rules. TikTok's algorithm doesn't care what's happening on the charts elsewhere. If enough reports come in, real or coordinated, the system can respond the same way regardless of how big the artist actually is. This is also a pretty good reminder of something that gets lost in fandom drama a lot of the time: the difference between organic competition and coordinated targeting. Fandoms compete with each other constantly. That's just the nature of the industry, and most of the time that competition plays out through streaming numbers, chart placements, award show votes. But if what fans are describing turns out to be accurate, mass reporting used specifically to trigger a platform's moderation system against a group rather than simply out-competing them, that crosses into a very different category. It's not about who has better numbers anymore. It's about manipulating the platform itself to suppress a group's reach entirely. And that's exactly why you're seeing so many fans mobilizing around this, encouraging each other to interact with the account directly and share content through links rather than hoping the algorithm cooperates. Now, stepping back from the TikTok situation for a second, let's actually appreciate what "I Like It" hitting this level of trending performance really means in context. This isn't a title track riding a huge promotional push. This is a B-side, released well into an era that's already had 2 music videos out during a period where the group is simultaneously touring internationally. The fact that it's still charting at this level tells you the fanbase engagement right now is genuinely enormous, and it also tells you something about how YG is handling this era strategically, releasing multiple videos from one mini-album to keep momentum going deep into the summer rather than letting attention fade after the title track cycle ends. It's clearly working. Reviewers have already picked "I Like It" out as one of the strongest vocal performances from the group this year, a nice change of pace from tracks that tend to lean more on rap-heavy delivery, and clearly, based on where it's charting, a huge number of listeners agree. So, where does that leave things? You've got a group performing at an incredibly high level creatively and commercially, hitting #1 across an enormous chunk of the globe with a song that wasn't even the main single. And running parallel to that, a quieter, murkier situation on one specific platform that fans are still trying to make sense of, without any official word from either TikTok or YG Entertainment to clarify what's actually going on. 2 completely different stories happening under the same roof, in the same week. What do you think is really going on with the TikTok account? Do you think this is a real shadow ban triggered by coordinated reporting? Or do you think it's something simpler, an algorithm shift, a content flag, engagement patterns changing after such a big posting push during comeback season? Drop your theory in the comments, and if you want more updates the second anything changes on either side of this story, make sure you're subscribed because you know we'll be tracking it. See you in the next one, Monsties. Ahyeon.